So there's a story I've been wanting to share with you guys for a while. About a year ago, I am convinced that I had an encounter with a guardian angel or spirit guide. Not sure what title you would want to give it, but it was definitely some help from the other side. So one of the things that we like to do when the weather permits for it, and it's not too miserably, unbearably hot here in Las Vegas, is we like to go on hikes. We will get on the app and look for a random trail and go hike it just for the hell of it. So we found a trail one day, and it was all the way out there by the mountain range that surrounds Vegas. And the way the hike is supposed to go is you're supposed to go for about, I think, 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles. And then there's a trail that splits off. And then you take that turn where the trail splits off, and then it loops you around about another mile, 1.5 miles, and then brings you right back to where you started. Well, we passed it up. We passed up the turn. And we keep going and going and going to the point to where we are now climbing the mountain range. And there's a trail that goes all the way up the mountain. It was treacherous, dude. Treacherous. It's actually kind of scary. Well, it gets to the point to where we get up on top of the mountain, overlooking Las Vegas and overlooking pretty much everything in the surrounding area. And with Vegas behind us, we look over the mountain range and you just see this vast nothingness, you know? I mean, it must have been 50 miles that you could just see out into the vast nothingness, the vast desert. It was just desert for miles and miles and miles and miles as far as the eye could see. And we were wondering, when are we going to see this trail that splits off and takes us around the other way? So we look at it and we're like, well, I guess let's keep going. Let's just keep going. So we begin to start going down the mountain range. And the plan was, we're just going to go down the mountain range and keep on going. Now, mind you, we're a good 5-6 miles into this. Something that was only supposed to be about a 4-mile hike. And we're just going and going and going and going. Well, coming from the vast nothingness is this dude. We weren't really thinking, where's this guy coming from? Because there's nothing out there. There's like literally nothing out there. He's coming up the mountain, coming from where there is absolutely nothing. It doesn't lead to anything out there. And he told us, y'all are going the wrong way. You know, that you missed the turn. You were supposed to turn and go around and have it circle you back around to where you started. You passed that up. You want to turn around and go back. So we're like, oh, cool. Well, thank you, because we were just going to keep walking. We were going to keep going until who knows when. So we sat there for a minute and we kind of get our bearings together, and then we turn around and we start to turn around, and dude is gone. Poof, the dude's gone. Nowhere to be seen. Poof. And I honestly, at the time, didn't even think anything of it when it first happened. It wasn't until we got home that Leah said, did you notice that dude disappeared? And I was like, yeah, he did. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. We were tired. We had just hiked 5-6 miles up a mountain. It was hot. We were sore. We were hurt. And it was a treacherous hike. I'm not thinking about that, you know. All I'm thinking about is just, let's get this hike done. And it ended up being like a 10-mile hike altogether. And you know, by the time we got home, I'm just thinking about anything and everything but what random person we ran into on the trail out there. But she said, did you notice that after that dude told us that we passed up the turn, he was gone. I was like, come to think about it, yeah, he was. I'm thinking back, like, where could he have gone? You know, like there was nowhere to go. Like anybody hiking on that trail, you could look and see the whole trail was exposed. Like there was nowhere for the dude to go. And where was he coming from? You know, it was really bizarre. I am absolutely convinced that that was some help from the other side. Because, like, straight up, we weren't going to stop. We were going to keep going and going and going and going. And in the direction that we were headed, there was nothing there. We were going to keep going over the mountain range, and who knows how far we would have gone before we turned around and decided to come back, or it got dark. You know, who knows? We were just going to keep going and going and going. And this dude just came out of nowhere from the weirdest place, you know, coming back up the mountain the other way, and then dude disappeared. That has fascinated me every time I think back on that. And it gets me wondering, I wonder how many times that's happened to me throughout my life, and I never even thought about it. Because if Leah hadn't brought it up, I never would have even given it a second thought. I never would have. Never would have, because I didn't think about it. You know, I'm not a really social person. Not real big on just talking to random strangers that I don't know, who don't know me. So I'm not real big on associating and talking to just random people. So I just wasn't thinking about it. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And you be on your way. But yeah, super fascinating. I am convinced that that was either a spirit guide or a guardian angel or something, whatever name you would want to get. So do any of you have any experiences like that? Share them in the comments. I'm sure it happens to a lot of us a lot more than we know.